It is my favorite time of year, October, Halloween month, and I have put together a list of 10 books that are all about Halloween. So get yourself something warm to drink and let's get ready to talk about it. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Nakia. Welcome to my channel. Like I said in the intro, it's finally time, Halloween month, and I have been enjoying. I know I've been away for a minute, but I just needed to step away because, I've been busy. So I've just been like, let me take some time and read and just, decompress. So anyway, I did want to come to you and bring you a list of books that are just all about Halloween because I've just been saving them and I couldn't wait to share them. And then at the end, I will also share some of the books that I will be reading this month, some that I've already gotten into, and then others I can't wait to get to. So I have put together a list of some novellas, short story collections, middle grade books, vintage YA, and a cozy mystery. So let's just get right on into it. First up, we have The Sleep Tight Motel by Lisa Unger. And this is part of the Dark Corners collection that is available on Kindle Unlimited. That is how I partaketh. Now, in this novella, we follow a woman named Eve who is on the run from an abusive partner. She stops at an isolated motel where she is the only guest, so she feels she's safe. He will never find her there. But as she's supposed to be the only guest, who does she keep hearing in the room next door? So of course, there is a mystery of what's going on with this motel and also what happened with this relationship that she's now on the run. This was so good. It's the first Lisa Unger book I've read and I plan to read some more, but I really enjoy this. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. So this is a thriller, but it does have some Halloweenness in there. I don't want to spoil it, but it definitely involves Halloween. So of course, I suggest you check it out. And again, it's free on Kindle Unlimited, so I will have it linked below as well as all of the books that I'm going to talk about. Next up, we have The Last Night of October by Greg Chapman. And this one is about a 70-year-old man named Gerald, where every year a child by themselves who's out trick-or-treating knocks on his door. But he does not answer because something is up with this child and this man Gerald's past, something that is haunting him. And this particular Halloween, this boy ends up coming in and all kind of crazy stuff unfolds. This one was gory. It had body horror. There's the mystery element of what happened with this man and this boy, what's up with his past. I really enjoyed this one. My only issue was there were some typos and stuff here and there, but it was really good, really spooky. And again, I've already said it takes place during Halloween, so I think you should check it out. And lastly, in the novellas category, we have Hannah Beast by Jennifer McMahon. And believe it or not, this was my first Jennifer McMahon experience, and I plan to read some others. In this story, in typical Jennifer McMahon fashion, we have two timelines. In the past, 34 years ago, on Halloween night, some children participate in a scavenger hunt that goes horribly wrong. And in the present, we are with a local mom who is sending her child off trick-or-treating, but she's home alone and she's terrified of a particular costume that is a local legend in the town. And we have to figure out what is the deal with these two stories, what do they have in common, and what's up with this woman? Why are we following her? Like I said, this one was so good. I just was so invested in this mystery of what happened with these kids and the scavenger hunt and what was up with this woman home alone. There was the creepy atmosphere, the suspense, and this had an ending where my heart was like, I saw it coming right before it happened, but it still just gutted me. So anyway, has a little twist at the end. This is also part of the Dark Corners collection on Kindle Unlimited. And I meant to say The Sleep Tight Motel also has a twist at the end. So again, this one, so many Halloween vibes with the trick-or-treating and all of it. So gotta check it out. It's short, it's a novella. Why not? Don't mind me. Got my pumpkin spice coffee in my new mug. I love it. Okay, so anyway, in the short story collections section, first up, we have The Halloween Store and Other Tales of All Hallows Eve by Ronald Kelly. This one I read last year during Halloween time and I enjoyed it. It was not the best, but I still enjoyed it. Some of my favorites from this collection were the titular story, The Halloween Store, which is about some children who go visit a Halloween store looking for costumes, and they are sold these special costumes. And then of course, some things happen after that, which I really enjoyed. Another one was Clown Treats. Now, this one is definitely a creepy clown story. Clowns don't really bother me like that, but if it's done right, it will get to me. This one did give me the creeps a little bit. And another one I really loved was called Pretty Little Lanterns. This was the longest story, but it was the best one. It was just haunting. We are following a sheriff who's investigating a murder, from what I remember. And like I said, it's just one of those heartbreaking stories, but in a good way. It was good. It was spooky, but it just had one of those endings where, like I said, will break your heart. A lot of the stories were good. Mr. Mac is back in town. Blood Suede Shoes. Just the title alone, there you go. So again, this is a good short story collection. I recommend it with all the Halloween vibes. Now, let me move on to my next one. You probably already know what's coming. I cannot make a Halloween book recommendations video without one of my favorite books in it. And of course, I'm speaking of Autumn Crow by Cameron Chaney. Now, this one was one of the first books I read when I got back into reading in 2020 because I had found his channel and I found out he had a book and I went and bought it. And it is one of my prized possessions. Like I said, I love it. Last Halloween, I reread one of my favorite stories from this book. It just still is so great. I just want to read you the back because it gives all the vibes and tells you what you need to know. Welcome to Autumn Crow Valley, where every night is Halloween. Enjoy your stay, but first, a few words of warning. Stay out of the forest, never venture out after dark, and don't stare into the shadows for too long. You may not like what you see. Have a pleasant visit. We hope it won't be your last. Author Cameron Chaney presents 7 new tales of All Hallows terror, along with his newly revised novella, There Are Monsters Here, in print for the first time. So again, love this short story collection. Some of my favorites from this book are Burnt Brownies. It's the story of a sister and brother where they're just having a little bit of trouble. And the sister is a teenager who's throwing a party. The brother wants to go trick-or-treating. She doesn't want to take him. Some things go wrong at this party. And this is one of those ones like the Pretty Little Lanterns from Halloween Store that is heartbreaking. I reread it last year and I was like, why did I pick this one to reread this year? But I still love it. It is such a good story. And also, I Have No Mouth and I Must Feed. If you want a creepy mannequin story, this is it. It gave me what I did not get in Night of the Mannequins. I got it in this one. And another one I loved was Crypt TV. I said this in the video where I reviewed it, but it gave me the vibes from Scrooged with Bill Murray, where there's the scene where he's visited by, I think it's the ghost that sets up what's going to happen, but it's the guy where he's, you know, the boss, the golfing thing. It has some humor, gave me also Tales from the Crypt vibes. I just really enjoyed it, but I loved every story in this collection. Those were just some of the favorites. I'm sure you've heard of this book by now if you're on here on Booktube. So again, this is one of my favorites. I will be rereading one of these stories again this Halloween. Can't wait. Next up, we have my middle grade section, and both books are part of the Monster Street series by J.H. Reynolds. I have really enjoyed the series. I'm not done. I had 2 that I really enjoyed, and one that's on this list was my favorite. I don't care if it's middle grade or not. It just was creepy. But let's start with one that, you know, I recommend, but it was not my favorite, and that is The Halloweeners. In this story, we follow a boy named Fisher who is new to town, but he finds out about the Halloweeners Halloween Club, and he can't wait to join. And there is this annual trick-or-treating competition. He is with the Halloweeners where they're going out to compete for this, and they go to this house where there is this mysterious cauldron on the steps. It has candy inside. It is just so enticing to these kids that they all take a piece of candy and eat it. And what happens is the candy transforms them into the monster costumes they're wearing. They become the actual monsters. And Fisher has to figure out how to save his friends before Halloween ends, or they'll be stuck as monsters forever. I was so looking forward to this one. I did enjoy it, but I will say this one did read young for me. It's probably more for people who are fans of Goosebumps, and I don't necessarily know if those are for me. I enjoyed the Goosebumps series. I used to watch it with my daughter, but as an adult reading this one, it just, like I said, was a little young, but I still recommend it if you want something a little more fun and, like I said, gives you Goosebumps vibes. I definitely recommend it. It also has heart and all that good stuff. Friendship, you know the drill. Now let's talk about my favorite one in the Monster Street series so far. This is the last one I've read, but like I said, I do plan to continue. And this one is Carnival. Now this one went there with the darkness. I was surprised how dark it went. I was like, I'm I don't know how young you should be reading this book. As a parent, you have to judge your child, but it was pretty dark. In this story, we follow two brothers, Ren and Kip, and they're sent to stay with their aunt who works at a retirement home. So they're staying there with her. A strange new autumn carnival rolls into town and flyers are put up everywhere. And these boys cannot resist. They want to go to this carnival. And they finally convince their aunt to go as long as they help her set up some festivities for the nursing home. So when they go to this carnival, Kip ends up making a bargain with a mysterious man to have unlimited rides at this carnival. And of course, things go wrong. And Ren has until the end of Halloween night to save his brother, or his brother will be lost to the carnival forever. So like I said, this was very dark. It got pretty, I was worried for these brothers. I'm not going to say, because I was like, I don't know how far this author is going to go. It also had some creepy clowns and just, like I said, just dark stuff. It had me. I was just, yeah. And the other thing I love about the Monster Street series, the chapters are so short, so you just keep flipping pages because you want to know what's going to happen next. So this one, like I said, will give you all the fall Halloween vibe. We're going to talk about caramel apples and autumn leaves and the crisp air, all that good stuff. So again, out of all the books I've read of the Monster Street series, the Carnival one is my favorite so far. So if you haven't read it, definitely pick it up. Link below, as I said. Moving on to the vintage YA section. Now this first one I'm going to recommend, I did not finish, but I'm still going to recommend it because other people have enjoyed it. And I think it's for a particular audience. And I'm speaking of Trick or Treat by Richie Tankersley Cusick. Now in this story, we're following a young lady named Martha, whose father is newly married, and they end up moving to the country with the stepmom and her new stepbrother, Connor, who she finds very strange and a little annoying. And when they get there, like I said, she's not happy. She has to go to a new school, all that good stuff. The father and new stepmom go off on their honeymoon and leave Martha and Connor home alone. And strange things start happening in this house. Martha and Connor are going to investigate and figure out what's going on with all these spooky things going on in this house. Now, for me, in true vintage YA fashion, there was a lot of stuff with the teenagers, with them going to school and, boys and crushes and all this kind of stuff. There was also this weird hint of something going on with Martha and her stepbrother. So I was like, what is going on with this? I don't like it. I don't know. But anyway, it definitely gave the autumn vibes and all that stuff. It's called Trick or Treat, so I'm assuming Halloween came in there somewhere. I didn't get to that part because I didn't read that far, but I still wanted to put it on this list in case you want to read it. Because like I said, other people have enjoyed it, and it definitely gives, it has the creepy house and all that good stuff. There was some good bone. It just moved too slow for me, and it was too much stuff with the teenagers. But if you are interested, definitely check it out. And of course, what would a vintage YA recommendation be without a Fear Street book? So I have Halloween Party by R.L. Stine. This is the Fear Street book number 8. And I think I read this in October of 2021, last year. And in this book, select students are given an invitation to a Halloween party at an old house on Fear Street. And during this party, the lights go out. And when the lights come back up, there is a boy on the floor with a knife in his back. So, do we have a murderer in our midst? Have to read to find out. This one, when I read it, it was okay for me. It did have some really good stuff. But once again, there was a lot of the things involved with the teenagers and bullies and, like I said, crushes and all that stuff that kind of gets on my nerves. So I kind of skimmed over some of that stuff. But when it did get creepy, that was really good. And it had some typical R.L. Stine stuff in it that if you've read his other books, you know what I'm talking about. So I still think it's fun for Halloween time. It definitely will give you the Halloween vibe. It's a Halloween party. We got costumes and all that stuff. And if you like the drama with the kids and, like I said, who likes who and all that good stuff, I definitely recommend it. As I said, it was a good time. I finished it, so can't complain. Nothing like pumpkin spice. All right. Last but definitely not least, I have a cozy mystery for you. That's why I just titled this video Halloween Books, because they're not all horror, but most of them. And if you've been a viewer of my channel for a minute, you already know what's coming. I am speaking of book 1 in the Pumpkin Hollow Mystery Series, Candy Coated Murder by Kate Bell and Kathleen Suzette. I had so much fun with this book last Halloween. I loved it. So in the town of Pumpkin Hollow, much like Autumn Crow, Halloween is a year-round thing. There are shops and bakeries and all kind of things where everything is Halloween themed. And we are following a character named Mia, who is recently returning back to Pumpkin Hollow after being away for 10 years. While there, she goes to work at her family's candy shop, which That is also just so much fun. But a neighbor ends up getting murdered. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this neighbor is not liked at all. She is rather rude. So there are so many suspects because everybody wanted to kill this woman. And so this was so entertaining. I love this neighbor who was just rude. The stuff she said out her mouth cracked me up. And then the mystery when it got involved and all of the fall atmosphere and just coziness of it. Cozy mystery. And the reveal, I didn't mind. I had fun with it. Like I said, this one was just fun. If you want a good time, I highly recommend it. Funny, fun, Halloween, fall, all that good stuff. So there you have it. And now, don't go anywhere, because now I'm going to tell you about the books I am reading this month. So you can consider these also Halloween and horror recommendations. I have a mix of a little bit of everything. So first up, this one I had on hold for my library, and it ended up getting sent to me when I was actually going to extend my hold. And I was like, you know what? It probably was a happy accident. And so far I can say that is the case. And I'm speaking of Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. I'm not sure how to say that. I'm sorry. I actually kind of went into this a little bit blind because when I read the synopsis, it was a while ago and I kind of forgot about it. So when I picked up the book, I was like, I'm not going to look at the synopsis again. I'm just going to get into it. But I'll tell you the little bit that I know, and I've already started. I'm about 50 pages in, but I'm enjoying it so far. In this book, we're following a woman named Mallory who is a recovering addict, and her sponsor gets her an interview for a live-in babysitting job for the summer. So this does not take place during fall, but it's still horror, thriller, dark. So she goes to interview to be a live-in babysitter for this young boy named Teddy. Now, she finds out when she gets to this interview that Teddy has been drawing pictures. And his mom tells her that he was never drawing pictures before, but suddenly when they moved to this house, he's drawing pictures all the time. And she finds out when she's looking at his pictures that he has an imaginary friend named Anya. And I'm gonna tell you, these pictures of Anya are not pleasant. They are creepy. I won't show you Anya because I want you to be surprised when you read the book yourself, because like I said, the drawing is just so creepy. It's just unsettling. I don't like it just from that. And there are just so many pictures throughout. I will show you some of the other ones. So whoever did the artwork, they did a really good job with making these look like actual children's drawings. So good. Like I said, that's about where I am. And all I know is that this imaginary friend is trouble, clearly. And some weird things are going to happen. And I guess it gets worse and worse as she's working for them. I'm going to tell you now, I would have been gone as soon as I saw the drawing of Anya. Cause, no. So like I said, I'm 50 pages in and enjoying it so far. It is definitely creepy and spooky for this Halloween time. And then I spoke about this in my August wrap up. I was having trouble in the month of August, in a bit of a slump. So I went for some childhood favorites, and those were the Berenstain Bears books. If you don't know, it's Berenstain, S-T-A-I-N, not Steen. So when I was looking for books in August, I saw that they had a bunch of books that were for fall and Halloween time. So I picked up quite a few for this month, and I can't wait to read them. I haven't started yet. Now, this first one is the Berenstain Bears and the Prize Pumpkin. This one could be for November, Thanksgiving. I'm not sure. I probably will read it this month. If not, like I said, I'll read it next month. And they all have a little something written on the inside. This one says, first prize, second prize, third prize, or none. At Thanksgiving time, more than a contest is won. So I'm assuming this is going to be cute. On the front, it also says first prize or bust. So this should be fun. Can't wait. And then this other one is also one that's not necessarily a Halloween one, but it has a ghost involved. So I picked it up. This one is the Berenstain Bears and the Ghosts of the Forest. You can see that. And it says on the inside, off go the Bear Scouts to camp out all night. Will an unwelcome ghost visit their site? I can't wait to find out. So this one is camping. It's summertime, but like I said, because of the ghost, I picked it up. And now we have two that are Halloween related. First up, we have the Berenstain Bears Go on a Ghost Walk. And it says on the inside, nothing makes a grown-up bear feel more like a cub than ghosts and monsters and lots of Halloween hubbub. I love it. So here's the cover of this one. Yeah, there you go. So looking forward to this. You can see they're in their little costumes. Can't wait. And then lastly, for the Berenstain Bears books, I have the Berenstain Bears Trick or Treat. And clearly, we know we're getting Halloween. And this says, even little bears expect a good fright when they go out for treats on Halloween night. Yes. Here's the cover for this one. Once again, got them in their little costumes. Like I said, can't wait. I'm not sure when I'm reading these yet, because I mean, of course, they'll be quick. I'll probably just read one here and there every week or soon to be. And then lastly, I saw this when I was searching on Amazon one day, and this is one of my favorite movies. So when I found out there was a graphic novel, comic book, whatever, I was like, I have to read this because I wanted to buy it, but I was like, no. Don't do that. Read it first, see if you like it, then we'll see about adding it to my small collection. But I'm speaking of Creep Show by Stephen King. Look at this. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I cannot wait. I am just saving this. It says on the front, a George A. Romero film, if you didn't know. But it says, now a very scary movie, screenplay by Stephen King, produced by Richard P. Rubenstein, and directed by George A. Romero. So on the back, it says, based on the 1982 horror anthology and cult classic film directed by George A. Romero and featuring stunning illustrations by the legendary Bernie Wrightson and cover design by the amazing EC Comics artist Jack Kamen. So this has all the stories from the movie. Father's Day, the lonesome death of Jordy Verrill, the crate, something to tide you over, and they're creeping up on you. And I've already looked at the illustrations. Oh my goodness, I can't wait. It looks like the movie. Oh, look at this. This one's from the crate, if you don't know. And I'll just show you one more. This one, as you can see, the lonesome death of Jordy Verrill. This is the one that has Stephen King in it, in the story. So like I said, I'm so excited. I will probably save this one for Halloween day. Like I said, can't wait. So I have not read any graphic novels, if you haven't noticed. So I even asked my daughter, like, am I supposed to go from left to right? She was like, you'll figure it out. So I will figure it out because, like I said, I can't wait. I've been looking at it here and there, not reading, but just glancing at it because I'm so excited. This is probably my most anticipated book of this month. And I am finishing up The Binding Room by Nadine Matheson. That one was long, so I spent a lot of September reading that book. That's why you didn't get a wrap up. You will get a September-October wrap up all together. But I'm almost done with that one and have been enjoying the audiobook. And I am also finishing up Night Books by J.A. White, and I have really been enjoying this one as well. Middle grade book. Like I said in my TBR video, Hansel and Gretel retelling, and so creepy witch story. And there's the Night Book show on Netflix, but I don't plan to watch it because I'm not crazy about some of the choices they've made with the adaptation. So anyway, and I think that's it. I have a lot going on right now, but I'm looking forward to enjoying my books stress-free. That is why I haven't filmed, because I've just felt so much pressure to read a lot of books because of the pressure that comes along with Booktube. But I am taking a step back, reevaluating things. I will be making changes in 2023. You'll see. But yeah, until then, that is what we have for the month of October. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope I gave you lots of books to choose from for the month of October, Halloween books, and of course, even with my TBR, even more books that you can consider. And feel free to let me know in the comments what you're reading this month. If you're reading any Halloween themed books, please let me know. If you're reading any of the books I'm reading, let me know. I always find that exciting. I know some of you have contacted me, DM'd me on Instagram and told me that you're reading hidden pictures. So, you know, that's been fun to find out. And let me know also if you have any fun plans for Halloween. Of course, I will be doing makeup, getting dressed up, because we love to do it for fun. You can follow me on Instagram to see what I'm doing this year. I will try to post something also on my community tab. We'll see. And I've been watching spooky movies, vintage ones, favorites. I post some things on my Instagram story about that as well. Just been having fun, just trying to relax and enjoy myself because I work a lot. So like I said, try not to stress out otherwise. But yeah, so that is all for this video, ladies and gentlemen. Ways you can support my channel are always linked below. You can donate for coffee, ebooks, all that good stuff. Like I said, link is always below, and all the books that I talk about will be linked as well. So until next time, snuggle up in your hideaway with a good spooky Halloween book. Unplug as much as possible. Be kind to all kind, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.